Hey, all right. This is take two of tonight's show. I normally do the show at 9. I started the show at 9 just now, and then I had to stop the show and get it going again because a situation developed here in the house um, that I had to take care of. So I'm back. I'm not going to start with a song tonight. I'm not sure because I think there might be a Pavlovian response going on. When I play the song, I think Hildy is taking that. Hildy's taking that as a cue, um, which is causing some real disruptions. So anyway, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do here. Um, it's uncharted territory. There goes Hildy. Um, as I started to say at the top of the show a few minutes ago, um, Mary, yes, I don't even know that they're planning the coup. I think they're just carrying out the coup. They definitely have the upper paw at the moment. Um, I'm on my heels. Um, they just they're a lot at the moment. Um, my friend Kit in L.A. who has a dog, he was asking me, "Do we have help with the dogs?" He was saying that can be really important. I've never had that situation where that was necessary, but that might be necessary, where we get someone to come in at some point during the day to take care of stuff because it's just it's over the um, yeah, that's a nice suggestion, Mom, but it's not possible for reasons that so when she gets put in the crate now, she just starts barking. So we can't do the show. We can't do the show. It's very disruptive. She barks and barks. So spare me, please spare me these suggestions because we're trying everything. So um, yeah, it's like when someone tells you that they have a cold, and then everyone's like, "Oh, have you tried?" Like, yeah, everyone has tried everything. When you tell someone that you have a cold, they never say anything. That's news to you. They might suggest some things, but they're never news. Now, I'm guilty of it also. I find myself doing it. That's what we want to do as humans. We want to be helpful. But sometimes there's no help. Sometimes suggestions of solutions are counterproductive because sometimes people express the challenges in their lives not so that other people will suggest solutions. In fact, often that's the case. People don't want to hear necessarily other people's ideas for a solution. They just want to express the challenging things they're going through. Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam and the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. What comes to mind is this TV series I watched recently that I really enjoyed. It was a series on Netflix. It was The Terror. I described it. It's about these boats that are heading up into the Arctic Circle in search of the Northwest Passage. And they encounter all sorts of difficulties. And whenever something terrible happens, the stoic and almost, I wouldn't say cheerful, but it's stoic. That's the word. The stoic response of the captain and of his crew, they kind of take in the horror of what's happening, and then they reassess, they make a new plan based on the new data, and they just go forward. And that's what I'm having to do at the moment with the dogs. They're really, it's too much. It's too much. Yes, Dawn, help could be helpful. All right. Excuse me while I put Gornaments into the quarantine again. All right, that was like ejecting an obstreperous member of the crowd at like a hockey or a football game. Security has to come along sometimes and just pick them up and move them out. That's funny, Mary. You say my singing makes them playful because they have good taste. How about I sing to them? That'll make them find a place to hide. All right. I'm willing to try it. Hey, Lavelle. Thank you. Yes, they're relentless. They're dogged. That's why they're called dogged. All right, let me tell you a story. This is crazy. I have these sandals. I have these leather sandals. Predate my veganism by a long time. 25 years ago, I went to this woman in the East Village here in New York. Her name was Barbara Schaum. She was brilliant. Barbara Schaum. She had this sandal workshop. It was a workshop. A little workshop on East 4th Street. Barbara Schaum sandals. She also made some other leather things, but it was mostly the sandals. And she would draw your foot, like do an outline, and they were custom made. You'd go back for a few fittings. They cost, a couple $100, a lot more than your average flip flop. But then they last for decades with a little bit of maintenance. So Barbara has since passed away. I knew her for probably 10, 15 years or so. The sandals then wore out, and I couldn't find anyone who really knew what they were doing. I once had them fixed when I was working in Europe. The strap broke, I think in Venice when I was singing there in 2006, and I went to someone and they just kind of fixed it with a tack. It wasn't really done properly. And then I would take them to her. She would fix them, but then she passed away. I remembered that the name of one of her apprentices was Kika. Kika, who's from the Netherlands. I knew her when she was working in Barbara's shop. I found her, and she now lives and works and has her own leather brand on Mallorca, the island in Spain. So I got in touch with her, and I said, look, the sandals, Barbara's beautiful sandals that she made me 25 years ago, they've just been sitting in the trunk of my car. I've been trying to get them fixed, but it's been like a few summers have gone by when I just can't get to them. Can I just send them to you? So that's what I did. So it was kind of extravagant, but DHL delivered my sandals all the way to Mallorca. We went through a little bit of a rigmarole with customs, where they sat in customs, then we had to pay an extra bit for customs. Anyway, she got them done, she got them fixed, she sent them back to me. Oh, this was after I skipped one part of the story, which was in May, I took them to a sandal maker in Provincetown. There's a leather worker in Provincetown. She said, yeah, I can fix these up, but I feel like the straps might be at their breaking point, so I can't guarantee anything. So sure enough, she fixed them up. They looked great, but I wore them, and within about 2 hours, they had failed again. So then I sent them to Spain. I got them back a few weeks ago. I've been wearing them a lot. They're great. These beautiful sandals. I should have them for a little show and tell, but I'll show them to you tomorrow. Um, but one of the straps is loose. So she says she tightened them a little when she worked on them in Spain, but the inside strap is loose on both sandals. So then she found me. She said, "I'm going to be in New York. I'm going to meet this guy up in Yonkers who can probably do this work." So then she emails me the other day. Yeah, this guy is good. Yeah, I showed him what to do, and you can bring him over there. So I knew she was in New York just for a couple of days. I'm walking Gornemonts today, and I take him into Whole Foods, where you're not supposed to bring dogs, but I decided I was going to try to get him. I just wanted to get some snacks for him. Um, a particular snack, actually, that was good for the Great Dane. So I was told that's where you get them. So I went in through the parking garage underneath, took the elevator up, got out of the elevator, and there was a security guard. So I quickly made a left to try to get to the other elevator to get to where the dog snacks are. And when I made that left, I see a woman by a cash register looking at my sandals. And I noticed that she's not looking at me, she's looking at my sandals. And then I look at her and I see it's Kika, this woman who I haven't seen in 20 years, who just worked on my sandals halfway around the world. There she is, standing there in Whole Foods looking at my sandals. And I looked at her and I said, is that? And then we said hi, and then it was an insane little coincidence. So that happened. A weird sandal saga. I think we've talked about this etymologically. There's this beautiful word, ultracrepidarian, which is someone who claims to know stuff about a subject that they don't really know. Someone who expresses an opinion outside the scope of their knowledge or experience. Like when you pretend to be an expert about something that you really don't know. Ultracrepidarian, and it comes from the Latin for sandal, crepida, ultracrepida. Ne supra crepidam sutor judicaret. The cobbler should not judge beyond his shoe. Ne supra crepidam sutor judicaret. So, if you're ultra crepidarian, you're a cobbler who's is judging in things beyond their own shoe. So, the ultra crepidarian is, I think of it as the sandal maker who acts like he knows how to make shoes. Anyway, ultra crepidarian. There's another word that has a really interesting derivation involving footwear. The saboteur, sabotage. You know that the word sabotage? The sabote, which really means to kick something with an old-fashioned wooden shoe. Saboteur, someone who deliberately obstructs or destroys something. Sabot, it comes from the French word for those wooden shoes. I'm looking for a little discussion or description of origin of saboteur. Where does the root word sabotage come from? It was originally used to refer to labor disputes in which workers wearing wooden shoes called sabots interrupted production through different means. So saboteur, to bungle, botch, wreck, or sabotage. So using their wooden shoes, they would gum up the works, which relates to that word Luddite, which someone told me we had the wrong definition of. But that also involved breaking the machinery. Someone said that was a false story. Yeah, the English workers in the the early teens, in the cotton and woolen mills that destroyed machinery that they thought was threatening their jobs. That is the derivation I'm seeing, which someone in the audience here said is not really where it comes from. So it would require a little more research. Okay, that was one thing I wanted to discuss. The other thing I wanted to discuss was this incredible coincidence. I just finished this book last night. I have this thing for Japanese fiction. I'm a big fan. I frequently enjoy it. I don't like to engage in national or ethnic stereotyping, but I happen to like French movies and Japanese novels and short stories. Not all of them, obviously, but somehow I vibe with those two nationalities of artistic creation. Anyway, this is called Mina's Matchbox by Yoko Ogawa. It's a 20-year-old novel, recently translated into English. I picked it up just by chance at McNally Jackson on the corner. It's great. I loved it. It's about childhood. It's about friendship. It's about family. It's about secret keeping. It's about memory. It's about industry. It's about animals. It's about the love between animals and humans. It's about many, many things. I loved it. But one of the things that it's about, and you can see it on the cover art, is there's a pygmy hippopotamus that's a character in the book named Pichiku. I think that's how you say his name. You know how you read a book and you don't say the names out loud, you're just reading them all the time, so then you don't really know how they're said. So this character, Pochiko, or Pochiko. I didn't really know about the existence of pygmy hippopotami before reading this. Maybe I'd seen or heard about him, I don't remember. But this is an important character in the book, is this hippopotamus. Pochiko. Wait, is Pokemon a hippopotamus? No. No, Pokemon is a made-up thing, right? Anyhow, finished this book last night, really enjoyed it. And then today, in today's New York Times, there's an article about a pygmy hippopotamus. What are the damn chances? Insane. When I finished the book, I then went and looked up the author, Yoko Ogawa. She's 62 years old. Yeah. And she has won all the big literary prizes in Japan. And she won, I think, there's a novel of hers recently that won a big award internationally. The Memory Police. Yeah, The Memory Police. That's a more recent one of hers. That was a big hit, apparently. The Memory Police. I'm looking forward to reading it. And I think someone big like Charlie Kaufman is making it into a movie or a series. So anyway, I'm an instant fan of this writer, Yoko Ogawa. That's my book tip for the day. All right, I think I'm going to do another song. Yes, Synchronicity. Synecdoche, New York. Oh, I see what you're saying. Synchronicity, yeah. That I'm reading this book and then suddenly there's an article about pygmy hippopotami. But I thought you were referring to another Charlie Kaufman movie when you said Synchronicity, but it's Synecdoche, New York. Yeah. All right, let's see what we're going to do musically. Whew. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. When she comes. I missed the explanation of the delay, if there was one. Oh, JX. Yeah, no, I didn't go into a big explanation other than to hypothesize that maybe when I start playing, that's a Pavlovian cue to Hildy, which she expressed, shall we say, last night, and then she expressed it again tonight, and I had to take care of it before doing the show. I had to take care of it and light some candles and regroup. Wah 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 wah. Wah 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 wah. I didn't read the article, Jill, but if I did, well, the one thing that's super, I know the word triggering is triggering for some people. Well, one thing that's super triggering for me is any story about violence to animals. So if that is what it was, I will not be reading that article. It's just, I find it unfathomable and too disturbing. So I'm not sure if that's what the article was about. I simply saw that there was an article about a pygmy hippopotamus. Yes, JX, that's exactly. Yeah. Oh, I hear you, Jill. Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. Too much to contemplate. This is what we learn. If you do something every single day, like I've been doing with this show, how many nights since July 14th, 2023? I think right around 450. 438. So today is night 438 in a row. What you learn when you do something 438 days in a row is that some days are easier than others. So this has been a little bit challenging. I like this song, Avalon. This is a good one. Why would people do that? I don't know. It's hard to imagine, but people do crazy things just for attention. Also, cruelty. Sadism is a real thing. Every morning memories stray across the sea where flying fishes play. And as the night is falling, I find that I'm recalling that blissful, all-enthralling day. I found my love in Avalon, beside the bay. I left my love in Avalon and sailed away. I dream of her and Avalon from dusk till dawn. And so I think I'll travel on to Avalon. Okay, I was futzing and fudging and finagling and messing up the time signature in that tune. If you didn't notice, sometimes I was in cut time, sometimes I was in 4. I'm distracted. there's been an interruption in the space-time continuum. Avalon. Thank you, Avalon. Vincent Rose wrote the music. Words by Buddy DeSilva. Avalon. From 100 years ago or so. Every morning memories stray across the sea where flying fishes play. Thank you, Dawn. I appreciate it. And as the night is falling, I find that I'm recalling that blissful, all-enthralling day. I found my love in Avalon, beside the bay. Okay, Avalon Schmavalon. Enough with Avalon Schmavalon. Hope you have a poop-free evening. It's been a great show. You're very kind. Thank you very much. Yeah. So I bought a book. I went to McNally. I think I bought this Mina's Matchbox at a different store. I think I bought it at Provincetown Bookshop. That's when I bought it. When I bought an extra couple of copies of Sebastian Junger's latest book, In My Dying Time, or In My Time of Dying, which is really great. It's a little memoir about a medical crisis. But I picked this up not knowing anything about it. It's great. But when I went into McNally Jackson last night, I got this Japanese book of short stories. It's not an encyclopedia, but it's a pretty thick book with great Japanese short stories, maybe going back a century or so. And the first one I'm reading is really fantastic. So I'll talk about that on the show later. Oh, interesting. Monty Python used the Avalon chorus. I don't even know what Avalon is. It's like some mythical, beautiful place, or is that Albion? That's England. What the hell is Avalon? A mythical island from Arthurian legend. It first appeared in 1136 in Geoffrey of Monmouth's Historia Regum Britanniae. It's a place of magic. Avalon is a place of magic where King Arthur's sword Excalibur was made, and later where Arthur was taken to recover from being gravely wounded. Since then, the island has become a symbol of Arthurian mythology, similar to Arthur's castle in Camelot. Okay, that's what Avalon is. All right. You know what? I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you very much for your eyes and your ears. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sticking with me through thick and thin. It was mostly thin, not to get into too much detail. And I will see you tomorrow night at 9. I'll see you every night at 9. This is the No Show. Thank you very much. Sweet dreams.